Hey coaches, Ashley here from CoachRX. A few weeks ago in our 10-minute tip, we talked about how to use assessment to drive program design. And today I want to take it a little bit further and dive into something that's fundamental to OPEX methodology, and that's tracking and showing client progress. So we learned that assessment offers you truth, and whether it's exercise, nutrition, or behaviors, you get to figure out exactly what that truth is. So let me show you how inside CoachRX you can turn this data into compelling client stories. But before we jump into those features, let's understand why this matters. So at OPEX, we believe in systematic assessment through body, move, and work. And this data just isn't numbers. It's a roadmap for your client's journey and the validation of your program design. So when we're looking at why this really matters, we're looking at we want to see assessment driven results. So when we say assess, don't guess, this transforms subjective feelings into objective measures. This validates your program design effectiveness. It creates clear benchmarks and progress for adaptation. It allows coaches to make data driven decisions about program progression. It also helps with client motivation and accountability. So it makes progress visible and tangible to your clients. It helps clients see the progress that they might miss day to day, and it connects metrics to client priorities and goals. And then it also just helps your clients build confidence through documented achievements. And back to program design validation. So, this is going to, when we're using assessment data, it's showing your effectiveness of your coaching methodology, and it provides clear evidence for program adjustments. It helps you identify patterns in clients' responses to training, and it just helps you support your periodization decisions. And then last but not least, using assessment data is great for business growth and retention. So it makes renewal conversations objective and evidence based. It helps demonstrate clear return on investments for clients. It builds trust through transparent progress tracking. And then it also just creates compelling success stories for referrals of new clients. So now let's get into CoachRX and let me show you how you can create these custom client reports just to show all of this assessment data to show client progress. All right, so now let's get into the platform and let's look at the three features inside CoachRX that are going to help you show client progress through their data. So the three features I want to show you today are metrics, custom client reports, and then also just the Loom integration, just to make things a little bit more personable. So looking at metrics, you have a way to organize your metrics in a way that seems best for your clients, the type of clients that you're working with, and the type of data or progress that you're tracking. So navigating to the index section, this is where getting into metric groups, this is where you will be able to create any sort of metric groups or add to the metric groups that are already populated. Just a little side note, you will not be able to delete any of these metrics that are already populated. So, like for resistance or any of the energy system metrics, just because these are tied to our structural balance feature. So, these are just already permanently coded into the platform. So, looking at resistance, maybe you just want to use some of these metrics that are already here, and then maybe you want to add your own. So, you can simply just hit add metric, name this metric, and then you can choose the unit of measure. Another note is that if you create your own metric group or add to any populated metric groups, you will then need to assign this metric group to your clients so that this populates one in their mobile app and then two on their dashboard when you are viewing metrics. So you would just hit assign metric. You'd be able to assign all the clients that you want to assign it to. This will be on a coach level. So each coach will need to assign these metrics to their clients. It's not an organizational level feature for them to be able to assign new metrics. So now let's look at what these metrics actually look like. So if we get into a client and we're viewing their metrics, so these metrics are just going to show you their their previous lifts, all of just anything that you're tracking for them. But it's not just giving you numbers, it's also telling a story. So if we look at this specific client, we can see we were relatively strong, able to maintain this back squat, and then she was pregnant, had her baby. And so now you can see we see a little bit of regression here, but not that it's necessarily regression. It's just we're rebuilding postpartum now. And then now you can see we've slowly built over time, increasing this weight. So it's just showing this client's true story of her fitness journey, and what that looks like through all seasons of life. So use these metrics to tell your client's story, not just to always just say like, oh yeah, you're getting better, you're not getting better. It's like, hey, let's look at the ebbs and flows. Progress isn't linear, and this helps them kind of see this. One thing that I love about our Loom integration is that you can do a full screen Loom. So just like right now, I'm doing a Loom over this metric, you essentially can do the same thing for your clients and just really talk through the results, talk through these metrics, talk about what you're noticing from maybe the numbers aren't reflecting the effort that they're putting in or their consistency. So you can talk about that progress isn't just numbers on scales, isn't just numbers on bars. It can tell their entire story of, hey, you went from 20% compliancy to now we're at 80% compliancy. So you're consistently showing up, and the progress on the scale or the progress on the bar is starting to show. And we can see that here in this metric. So using that Loom integration over top of your metrics. So whether it's metrics like this, or maybe you actually want to look at the sidebar and we can talk about completed sessions, like, hey, you have completed sessions, but you have a streak of 0. So maybe we need to work on schedule this way. So it just helps really personalize this for your clients and tell their whole fitness story and just really help them progress through all aspects of their fitness journey. And then the last feature I want to talk about is our custom client report. So looking at our metrics, or maybe you're looking at the assessment or the structural balance feature, or the planning and periodization. These are all custom client reports that you can export to your client to help with that buy-in, help them understand where you're taking them on their fitness journey. So it's just giving them a little bit more insight. So if I'm looking at the assessment and I'm looking at their move assessment, and maybe they failed these exercises 6 months ago, but we've retested them and now they've passed their scratch test or they've passed their air squat, we can export this client document to them, and just really give them a good understanding of what this looks like, what their progress is showing. So I can hit export PDF. I can export the assessment. I can export short-term and long-term plans just to show them how we're going to progress through exercise based on where they are and where they want to go based on their goals. And then you can also export like their structural balance feature. So as they start to get stronger in the gym, as they start to be able to progress through motor control, muscle endurance, maximal contraction, you can start to show them how structurally balanced they are in all of their movement patterns. So these are the 3 features that I think are really great at just helping your clients see their whole story, their whole fitness story. And so this is just going to help you in the long run. It just helps make this client resilient and adaptable as possible over time, because you're showing that their progress tracking is reflecting their entire journey. So for today, like just tip today, I want you to start by setting up just 3 important metrics. What are metrics for each client that you really want to show them progress over time? Maybe it's compliancy. Maybe you're looking at a specific movement pattern that you want to show them over time. And then build from there based on what the data tells you. And so just remember, one thing that we teach in our coaching education certification CCP is that the art of coaching comes into play when considering what we prescribe to our clients. So let your data, let all of these metrics guide these decisions and show your clients the power of personalized program design. You're just going to get a lot more buy-in from them. If you're not already in CoachRX, jump into trial. Let's book a call. I can show you how to set up some metrics that you can help track for your clients, just so that you can show them their journey through fitness that isn't always scale related or numbers on the bar. I mean, there's a lot of different things inside CoachRX that you could really help show them their progress.